on the board. Put in your code and then put in your name. So back over line plots. What's a line plot?
A line.
Good. It uses a number line with what? X's. Good. What's a data table? What's the word data mean? Remember I gave you some words right when we started graphs. We said first we have to take a survey. Good. We take a survey and then we make a tally table. So that's also called a data table, okay? That's where you collect data. Okay? Alright, so here we go. So you're measuring the lizard. Now remember, yesterday I told y'all about the ruler, right? Okay. Where do I look to figure out what my ruler's cut into? What numbers do I look between?
3, 4. 4 and 0.
0 and 1. Okay? You always start, remember I told y'all to always start like this is your pizza. Remember?
Yes.
Okay, and then we cut it to figure out what we're counting by. So what are we counting by?
1.
Fourths. Good. Who said that? Good, Evan. We're counting by fourths because I have 4 boxes, right? So that means this first line would be what? 1/4. Good, Evan. You remember from yesterday. What's the second line? 1/2 or 2/4. Thank you. What's next? 3/4. Hey, we remember. All right, good job. So now we know that it's counting by fourths. So if I'm down here, right? Remember you have to bring your hole with you. What's the hole in front of this line? 3. 3, right? So you've got 3 holes, right, Chloe? And then we start counting by what again? Fourths. So this would be 3 and 1/4. Good. 3 and 2/4 or 1/2. Remember that 2/4 is equal to half. And then 3 and 3/4. Good. So where does that lizard stop? 3 and 3/4. So you should get C. So do y'all see what we're doing on the rulers? Okay. Alright, so here's the next one. Alright, so it's giving us some data. Okay? Y'all seen this on study item. It says lengths of leaves in inches. Okay? So we've got 5.5. We've got one leaf that's 5.5, one that's 6.5, 6.5, 6. Follow me?
Yes.
So to figure this out, we're going to start with 5.5. Okay, Chloe? Chloe, let's go circle all the 5.5s first. Okay? All the 5.5s first to figure out how many there are. Okay? So I've got 1, 2, and 3. You follow me? Okay. Now I need to look at my charts at the bottom, my line plots, and figure out which one has 3 X's on 5.5. Okay, so here we are. we're between 5 and 6. Here's my pie. You go between whole number and whole number, remember? So what does this one cut into? 4ths again. So this would be 5 and 1/4. Good. 5 and 2/4 or 5 and a half. And then 5 and good. We caught on. Good job. You'll need to remember this because you're going to use it a lot. Okay? So all these are cut into 4ths, obviously. Okay? Okay. So we're looking for 3 X's over 5 and a half. Does this one have 3? Yes. So let's put a question mark. Does this one have 3? No, it only has 2. Let's mark it out. Let's get rid of it. Does this one have 3? No, it only has 1. Let's mark it out. Does this one have 3?
Yes.
All right, so let's put a question mark here. Now we're going to move to the next number, which is 6 and a half. So let's circle all the 6 and a halves. 1, 2, and that's it. So does this first line plot have 2 over 6 and a half? No. Because let's label this. This would be 6 and 1/4. Good, whoever said that. This would be 6 and 2/4, which is 6 and a half, and then 6 and. So does this have 2 X's over 6 and a half? No. So we can go ahead and take it out. Let's check this one. Does this one? Yes. Look right here. Okay. All right, let's go to the next number. How many 6's are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Does this have 4 X's? All right. What about 5 and 3/4? There's only 1. Does it have it? Yes. So you should get D. Y'all understand how to work these? Huh? Yeah, I'm going to let you try now. All right, here you go. Try this one on your own. All right, so it's like what we just did. So you're trying to find which line plot correctly displays Michael's data. So he's got one boy that is 48 inches tall, correct? Josh. He's got 2 boys that are 48 and a half. He's got 3 boys that are 50. Good. He's got 1 boy that's 51 and 3/4, and he's got 4 boys that is 52. You should be able to do it after the second number. You should be able to find out which one it is. Alright, so a lot of you, I'm walking around and I see that you've already put a question mark just on 8 and stopped. All of these have what? X's on what? On what number? 48, because that's what we started with. How many people are 48? 1. Well, all of these have 1 X on 48, so can I just say that? No, got to keep going. Next is 48 and a half. How many? 2. So come show me on this number line where 48 and a half is. 48 and a half. and a half. Does it have 2 X's? It does? No, it doesn't have what? Does it have any? No, it doesn't have 2. What about this one? It does? On 48 and a half? No, it's got it on what? 48 and... Say it. 48 and... Come on, y'all. Y'all do it when I do it with you. It's cut into what? 4s. Okay. What's this first line going to be? 48 and 1/4. Thank you. The next one would be 48 and 2/4 or half. 48 and... Okay, all of these are doing that. Does this have, because this is 48 and a half, does this have 2 X's over 48 and a half? No. Mark it out. Mark it out. Does this one have 2 X's on 48 and a half? Bridget, does it? Where does it have the 2 X's? On 48 and 1/4. So mark it out. Does this one have it on half? Yeah, so you should have gotten D. Okay? A lot of you stopped at A and chose A just because it had 1 X on 48. You can't do that. You got to look at all of them. Alright, so this is kind of like what we did yesterday. Elizabeth was selling Girl Scout cookies and plotted the number of boxes she sold on the line plot below. How many more boxes did Elizabeth sell on days 6 and 7 than days 8 and 9? So what days am I looking at? 6, 7, 8, 9. Thank you, Emiliano. Come on. So we're going to look at 6 and 7. Then what? 8 and 9. So what am I going to have to do with the 6 and 7? Add them up. Good. What am I going to have to do with the 8 and 9?
Subtract them.
Add them up. Thank you. You've got to add them first. Okay? So how many were on day 6, Ashika? 12. How many were on day 7? 11. All right, so we've got 12 here and 11. What about day 8? 10. What about day 9? 8. All right, so we're going to add 12 and 11, which is what? 23. So we got that. We're going to add 10 and 8, which is what?
18.
Now, Chloe, what am I going to do with these two numbers?
You're going to
Subtract. Good. Okay. So now we're going to come and do 23 take away 18. All right. Can you have 3 take away 8? More on the floor?
Go next door and get 10 more.
All right. So the 3 becomes a
12.
13. The 2 becomes a
1.
You should be writing what I'm writing, not just getting answers. All right. So what's 13 take away 8? 5. And 1 take away 1. So you should get B. 5 boxes. All right, y'all are on your own on this one. How long is the paper clip? I want an answer from everybody. How long is the paper clip? Aubrey, I love the way you drew your box to figure out what it was counting by. Good job. So Aubrey went and drew a box here. Is that okay for her to do? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Let me change color. She drew her box here. Can she do that?
Yes.
Yeah. Because you still can take it and cut it and figure out what it's counting by, right? Okay, good. So, where did it stop, Bridget? On the 1/4. So that's going to be what? Remember, you got to bring your whole with you. So that would be 3 1/4. Good, Evan. So you should have gotten 8.
Yes.
Okay. All right, last one. All right, so which line plot correctly shows the data in the table? Most of you are getting this one. 3 on 1/4. Okay? Does this one have 3?
No.
No, we're going to exit out. Does this one have 3?
No.
Yes. Y'all can't just say no. Does this one have 3? Okay, question. Does this one have 3?
Yes.
Alright, so we're down to 3 of them. Let's move to the next one. Half. Does this one have 2?
No.
Mark it out. Does this one have 2?
Yes.
Does this one have 2?
Yes.
Alright, gotta move to the next one. 3/4. Does this one have 2? Does this one have 2?
Yes.
Gotta move to the next one. 1. Does this one have 1?
Yes.
Does this one have 1?
No.
Mark it. So you should have gotten C. Okay? Alright, so the next activity we're going to do is we're going to measure some lines, okay? And we're going to make a line plot and then we'll answer questions, okay? So you can close your iPad. Okay? I'm going to display some lines on the board. As we measure them, you're going to plot them on the graph. Okay? You're going to plot them on the graph. So you need a pencil. Okay? And I'm going to put different rulers on the board. Okay? And I'll call you up to come and measure the length of the lines. Okay? Okay. All right, Dharma, come get this sheet, baby. We're just going to start the next activity, okay? All right, so here we go. So I did that. All right, so measuring. We're going to work on measuring lines, and we're going to plot them as we go on this sheet, okay? So it says measure the length of the line to the nearest ½ inch. What does this ruler cut into? Half. How do you know that? Because it says half, but how do you know? What if it didn't say half? How do I know it's cut into halves? Between the numbers, how many spaces are there? Not one. Two. That's how we know it's cut into halves. Okay? So, I want, let's see. Christian, I want you to go to the board and tell me what that line measures. What is the length of that line? So it stops here, Christian. And we already said it's cut into half, so what would that first line be? Huh? What would I put on that first line? If it's cut into half, what do you put on the first line? Alright, good. 11 and a half. So how long is that line? 11 and a half. So how do you write 11 and a half? Perfect. Put your two. Put your half. Good. So you would write it as 11 and 1/2. Good job. Okay? So you're going to put an X over 11 and a half. Because this first line was 11 and a half. So everybody put an X over 11 and a half on your line. Yep. Everybody put an X over it. Don't mark it out. You want to put it on top. We're making a line plot. Okay? Don't X it out because we may have more than one. You're going to put it on top of the line. Yes, Christian? You put it on top of the number 11 and a half. We haven't gotten to that yet. All right, next one. Measure this one to the nearest ½ inch. So we know it's cut into halves. All right, Evan, you can go. Good. 9 and 1/2. So everybody put an X on top of 9 and 1/2. Make sure you put it on top of the line. Okay? 9 and a half. Yep. All right. Anhar, you want the next one?
Yeah.
All right. So you should have an X on 11 and a half and 9 and a half. Okay? Y'all can go ahead and put an X if you know what it is. Go ahead. Good, Bridget. Right, be careful, Aubrey. Look at it. It stopped. You're good. I'm just walking around seeing. Stops here, baby. There you go. Oh, not one, baby. Look where it stops. What's the whole number before it? We're not in fourths anymore. Remember, we're in what? Halves. So your fraction behind should say 1/2. So it went past what number? All right. There you go. Perfect. All right. So it went past the 6 and then stopped at the half. So everybody needs to put an X on 6 and a half. Aubrey, you want to do the next one? All right. Come on. one stops here. So Aubrey, is this one gonna have a half behind it? Nope. So where did it stop, Aubrey? Alright, so that's your answer. Good. This one's not gonna have a fraction because it stopped directly on the whole number. Okay? So you should put an 8. Put an X over 8. Alright, a reach. The line stops here. I'll draw a line on it. All right, Arish, let's look at it. Did it go past the 9? No, it didn't pass the 9. What did it pass? 8. So what should be your whole number? 8. So change your 9 to a 8. Okay, so 8 and 1/2. All right, Alana. So this one stops here. So on that last one, you should have put an X over 8.5. We're not answering the questions yet. We haven't even gotten to the questions. We're just still doing our line plot. Good. 9. That's it. This one does not have a half with it. Okay? So this one stopped at 9. All right, Jeremy. Make sure you put an X over 9. Good, Jeremy. 6.5. So put an X over 6.5. Okay? And Ashika. Perfect. 7. So put an X over 7. Okay? So that's the last one, and now we're going to go to the questions. So somebody tell me how many were on 6.5? 2. How many were on 7? 1. How many were on 7.5?
0.
Good. 8.
1.
8.5.
1.
9.
1.
9.5.
1.
Woo, we got a lot of ones. 10.
0.
10.5.
0.
11.
0.
11.5.
1.
All right, good. So how many lines were exactly 8 inches long?